All right, Shalom. It's your brother Kushab coming back at you with another lesson. Now, before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakabadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught me the true and rule well. And peace, blessings, salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel and may you endure to the end. We're all willing. All right. Salakia. Just doing the in-transit lesson, so Salakia for the noise. All right, it's a little rain, but it subside in a few seconds. All right, but basically, I just wanted to get into a lesson today. It's predicated on examining ourselves before the Lord examines us and judges us. All right, examining ourselves before the Lord examines us and judge us, man. All right, because the Lord does give us a frequent opportunity, all right, to examine ourselves. Now, what do I mean by examine yourself? When it's the word, when you go into the verb, it means to put someone to question in regard to knowledge, competence, or skill. Inquire into qualifications or capabilities. All right. So we put ourselves. All right. It was a cross-examination. All right, because when you go into the court system, all right, whatever, the judicial system, when you go into the different laws, and you actually have these lawyers that fight for their defendants, right? It's called or they examine or cross-examine a witness, right, to verify or to make sure that things that they say is true, right? So we do that with ourselves, man. All right, with the things that we may be lacking on, things that we can get better in, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, whatever it may be, all right, like it says in James 1:7 or 1:6, I believe, or it might be James 5, I think it's James 1, Salaki, I'm not going to get it, but, I just wanted to say it because it says that if any man is if he's lacking of anything, then just let him ask, all right, and nothing wavering. So with your prayers, you should be praying for the things that you lack, right? Praying for the things that you are weak in. You see, things that you can get better, things that you can grow with through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, right? But that all comes with a self-examination. You see, you have to put your own self in the question, all right? Am I being diligent? Am I being a sincere brother? All right? Am I being a sincere servant of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai? You see? These are the things that you have to examine yourself and put into question on, right? Because if you're not, all right, and you just let day by day, week by week, month by month go by to where you aren't correcting these things, then what's going to happen? The Lord is going to judge you, man. All right? Because you're not examining yourself, right? And you should be examining yourself day in, day out, all right? It's simple and plain, man, all right? Now, it says also to inspect or survey something carefully, to scrutinize, you see? View, observe in all aspects with the purpose of forming a correct opinion or judgment, you see? And that's what the Lord does with the angels, all right? And he uses his men, all right? He uses his men to do that as well, you see? Because, you may get pulled to the side, right? Whatever, counsel, whatever. And, men have to judge you, right? Because as we are practicing becoming what? Righteous judges, right? So men have to judge, has to judge you from all aspects of things, right? They can't just take in to one account of something. No, man, all aspects have to be weighed, you see? All aspects has to be weighed, man. Everything has to be viewed from all sides, right? But before that happens, there's warnings, right? But ultimately, the ultimate warning is with yourself, man. You see? If you can't take heed to the warnings that the Lord is, and the Lord shows, certain men, certain brothers, the things that they need to correct, right? The Lord shows men that, and if you don't get it correct, well, the Lord is going to bring a harsher judgment upon you, right? And I'm not saying, the judgment is going to be, the Lord gonna have kill you, right? That's not always the case. It could be different things that the Lord can take away from you, all right? It can be different things that the Lord can punish you for, okay? And the Lord can very well have kill you, man, depending on the substantiality of things, all right? But it says also form a correct opinion or judgment, to interrogate, right, to test, to try, to consider, to ponder, right, to weigh, right? And there's a lot of words that go into this one word, examine, all right? And something that Apostle Paul always, he preached to the church was to examine themselves, man, shit, excuse me, to examine yourself, right? So this is, 2 Corinthians 13 verse 5. It says, examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith, prove your own selves. So, hey man, examine yourself, right? It says, know ye not your own selves how that Yahushua Mashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates, right? In which, I watched a lesson in which the brothers from down here, a couple of brothers went into a lesson on self-examination, right? Good lesson, to watch. It's kind of sparked something to go into on my end, right? And that's why I say, man, Jake just better examine himself before the Lord do it for you. All right? And it's not a hard thing to do, because at the end of the day, Jake know, all right, what the things that they're supposed to be doing and things they're not doing that's required of them, all right? Especially if you're in the ministry, man, all right? If you are inside of the house, man, all right? If you're in the body, right? But it says, verse 6, it says, but I trust that ye shall know that we are not reprobates, right? Now the brother when I was watching this lesson, went into this word reprobate, right? It's a heavy definition. All right. Now it says prove your own selves, right? So if you're a reprobate, is a Strong's G96,
right? Adokimos.
Adokimos, right? It says not standing a test, not approved, properly used of metals and coins, that which does not prove itself such as it ought, right? So if you're not examining yourselves, well, you're not proving yourself. You're not standing the test. You're a reprobate, you see? If you're not examining yourself, man. So what comes with being a reprobate? Judgment. You see, because when you go down to the definition, the second definition under A, it says unfit for, right? So you're not unfit. You're not fit for the office that the Lord has appointed you in. Why? Because you not is all falls under the scope of not examining yourself, man. All right, which is detrimental to a man. You see, very, very important. All right, as we continue to walk in this truth, man. And I was watching the elder brother from LA. All right, going to lessons on your conscience, right? Very edifying lesson on your conscience, because and your conscience, which is your spirit, man. It actually tells you, right, when your conscience is condemned, it actually tells you that hey, you going off, man, right? That's what keeps us in check, all right? Our conscience is our spirits, man, right? But I don't want to shy away from the lesson. I got a couple bookmarks what I want to go from here. Zephaniah 3 and 5 to make the point, about the judgments. Because they ain't never too far off, man. Right? It says Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 5. It says the just Lord Yahweh is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgment to light. He faileth not, but the unjust know no shame. And that's the point. You want to examine yourself before judgment, you see? And you're going to find favor when you do that, right? Because every morning when you wake up, that could be the day that the Lord judge you, man. All right? For not taking heed to the warnings. If your brother been constantly telling you about something, right? Rebuking you on something, and you're just not listening. Well, hey, man, you don't want the Lord to step in and make that call, man. All right, take heed to the warnings, man. You see? Because you never know, by you being rebellious, hard-headed, all right, not examining yourself, well, the Lord could bring judgment upon you, man. You know? So you can get your mind right, you see? That's why I say, you know, you get your mind right. Examine yourself before the Lord do it for you, man. You see? But it says in NLT, but the Lord is still there in the city. He does no wrong. So the Lord can't do wrong. He can't do iniquity. All right? So when he judges you, it sees fit. You see? Day by day, he hands down justice, and he does not fail. So you never know when that day might come where the justice, all right, or the judgment is handed down to you. You see? And like I said, you know, brothers know when they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, all right, or behaving, lacking things through the Spirit, man, you know? But, let me get this in Sirach real quick. Get that, end it off with that. Sirach 18, I think, 20, yep. So Sirach chapter 18, verse 20, it says, before judgment, examine thyself. All right? So before judgment, what do? Put the question in regard to your knowledge, your competence, your skill, right? Inquire into yourself, your capabilities, your qualifications. Am I doing the necessary things needed and more to obtain salvation? You see? By doing these things, what will happen? It says, in the day of visitation, right? When the Lord, Yahweh Shai, returns, okay, that day of visitation, thou shalt find mercy. So you find mercy just off of examining yourself, man. All right, along with repenting, all right, doing what's allotted in our offices to do as men of the Lord, right? Prophets and teachers, man. You see? Examine yourself, man. And doing these things, what? We'll find mercy in the days to come. All right. It says, humble thyself before thou be sick, and in the time of sins, shew repentance. But that was the point. All right. That was the point. I got a couple more, you know. Got all of those. Yeah, that's pretty much it, man. You know, like I said, Lord willing, is edifying, straight to the point. All right. And this is something I spoke about, you know, a little bit earlier, and I'll just bring it out. This is Sirach 14:2. It says, blessed is he whose conscience has not condemned him, and who is not fallen from his hope in the Lord, right? So we're going to get that in the GNT. It says, if a person has a clear conscience and never gives up hope, he is certainly to be congratulated. Responsible use of wealth, right? Well, how would you have a clear conscience about yourself? By first and foremost following after righteousness, of course, all right? But secondly, examining yourself, man. You see, that's how you clear your conscience. Examine yourself, right? If you're doing something that's off, man, correct it. You see, if you're lacking something, pray and ask for help and correct it. You see, that's how you keep your conscience clear. That keeping your conscience clear is through self-examination. All right, and ultimately that's going to lead us into the chariots, man. You know. But, you know, that's pretty much the point of this lesson. You know, it didn't intend to be any longer than what it is. So, Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that, I'm going to give all praises, honors, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakadash. Double honors once again to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and blessings.